What's up, team? So today we want to talk about a subject that we've heard for years, we've dissected for years. I just want to leave you guys with a way to see it and a way to know that there is a solution for it. So I'm I'm big on believing that the more we get access to healing men and helping men heal, that our world is going to heal. You know, the dad, the father affects the mother, affects the children, affects the world. We know that. But I want to allow us to really dive into seeing what does healing really look like for a man. It doesn't always look like going to poetry slams and buying flowers. And I'm not saying that it can't. I'm just saying it usually doesn't look like that. So let's dive in. If my voice sounds a little raspy, it's not me trying to sound like Barry White. I'm just getting my voice back, and I really wanted to record this one. Healing looks a little different, a lot different for a man than it does a woman. And I believe the reason for that is we know men aren't usually taught to actually open up. Men aren't taught to share what they feel. We're usually taught to shut it down or to block it out. Mr. Jason Wilson, who is one of the greatest advocates for men, talks about in one of his videos how him and his wife had 5 miscarriages. And at the fifth one, the doctor let them know that the daughter wasn't living. And he said that he couldn't let it out. His emotions, he had to be tough. And what he mentioned after that is that he bottled that up for years and it didn't come out for years later. We're taught to suppress things and to hold things and to be strong. There's nothing wrong with being strong. But if being strong causes you not to open up emotionally, it's gonna come out the wrong way sometimes. It usually comes out in rage, nervous breakdowns, or just having no emotions at all. But men are taught that. So the first thing we want to do with men and women who are watching this who have younger boys is teach them how to open up. Don't tell them to open up. Big difference. Me telling you you should open up makes my defense come up. Versus, hey, I noticed these things have happened. What were some things? Name me 3 things you were feeling when it happened. I like that for the younger crowd, because if you ask them uh, blanket questions, they're gonna answer with nothing or okay. Case in point, if you ask a young person how was your day, usually they'll say good. Name me 3 things that happened in your day. You get a little bit more information. So rather than telling them to open up, show them how, teach them how, and it might come with you opening up. Now, I'm not saying parent, guardian, that you should be doing therapy with your child. I'm not saying that, or you should be throwing your feelings out on your child. Shouldn't be doing that. So we want to teach these young men how to open up, and even some of the older men. That can come through providing a safe space and asking them questions and not getting defensive if they don't answer them automatically. I'm thankful for my wife, because before therapy and even after therapy, I still take therapy. I didn't know how to open up, and she would ask questions, or I would just shut down, and she just couldn't get me to open up. And she tried, and I tried to blame it on everything else until one day I realized, if you don't open up, Drew, what you carry is going to be put onto your daughters. And I would hate to see my daughters live a world where they feel they cannot express themselves, where they cannot be open, when they cannot talk. So rather than telling the man or the young guy, you need to open up, teach them how to open up. Number 2, providing safe spaces also does not look like how it does for a woman. Now, I applaud women that women can get together in a circle and they can just talk for hours. Men are more so like, we got 30 minutes, 20 minutes, unless it's an activity that we enjoy. So there's your hint. Men may need an activity to do until they can start talking about other things. And it usually happens, right? Playing pool, bowling, whatever. They start talking about random things, and then all of a sudden you start to realize, well, he's starting to say something that's a little different than what we're doing. That's him opening up. That's him testing the waters. But with those two, the healing part doesn't look the same. The healing part for women, it's not straightforward. It's not linear. It's up and down. It's a roller coaster. But for men, sometimes it feels like it's like a gigantic change. Like, oh my God, I'm free. And then they find something else out, or they discover something else, or unpack something else. And then it goes from I'm free to I suck. And the lines look so drastic because remember, he's learning how to feel again. He's learning how to open up again. And with that, what is usually happening is he's starting to blame himself a lot. Self-awareness without self-acceptance and self-compassion is just self-awareness, which can be dangerous. You start finding out how to find out what's been happening with you. All of that seems cool until you realize, wow, I might be messed up. And that's not where we want to stay. So with a man, his healing journey looks like one day he's happy, one day he's depressed, one day he's joyous, one day he's sad. And that could be happening from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I know this because it's happened for me. There can be certain days where I'm just like, I'm doing the work, I'm healing, I'm helping men. And then there's some days I'm just like, man, I completely suck at life. I didn't get this right. So the journey looks different, but it doesn't mean that it's not effective. The journey looks different, but it doesn't mean that it's not effective. Here is a way to find out if it's effective for you as a man, and a way to find out if it's effective for the man as a woman. As a man, start to think, and I'm always going to say, start to write down, where were you 6 months ago, 12 months ago? Could you share back then? Did you want to share back then? Were you less defensive back then? Can you actually feel your emotions now? Those are big, big indicators. Because before, you couldn't feel anything. You didn't want to talk about anything. You usually would just get up and you would just go about your day, and that would be it. If those things are happening, congratulate yourself, celebrate yourself from that. Another way you can find out if the healing journey is working, if you're even aware that you want to do any of the work, or self-reflection, or self-awareness, self-acceptance, if you're willing to do any of that, that probably means it's working. Number 3, it could be a hard one. Ask someone close to you, hey, have I been changing for the good? And be okay with their answer. As the woman, similar things. Have you seen him talking more? Have you seen him trying to open up more? Have you seen him getting frustrated at feelings and things like that? Has he validated some of your feelings? I think sometimes when we look at healing, we think everyone's path is going to be the same as ours. That's usually not the case. Usually not the case. Another way to know if it's working for him is to simply ask him, hey, hon, bro, nephew, how's it been on this journey? What have you been experiencing? If they say nothing, then it's probably not working. If they start trying to explain, then it's working. So if we can realize that men aren't taught to open up and to share, it doesn't mean they can't. They're just not taught that. Then we're going to have a better chance at seeing men heal, thrive, love life, but most importantly, love themselves. And I strongly believe that God put men on this earth to help progress things, to help women heal, children heal, nations heal, generations heal. And it's going to have to start with men healing. It's not easy, but it's worth it. So with these videos, with this podcast, I'm just going to be sharing tips and things to help men understand you're not alone. You're not alone. You might feel that no one is there and that no one's paying attention, but you're not alone. You are loved. You are important. You matter. You're valuable. I love you, bro. I'm rooting for you, and I'm here for you, even if it's virtually. These are things that we want to keep expressing, because when men feel lonely, it can usually lead to, I want to take myself out, and we don't need that. So take this video, take this podcast, listen to it over and over again, see what you can dig out. Even if you have questions or disagree, let me know. We can talk about it. But we want men to heal, and it may look different from a woman. Take care, guys.